Welcome, my friends, to the Devils You Know. I am back. I don't sound very good. I know that. My nose is very clogged. It sounds like I have allergies, or a cold. But it's just symptoms, medication that I have to take for an autoimmune disease. Anyway, this is the Devils You Know. Tonight, the Devils played Detroit at home. Home sweet home, baby. It's been a few games since I've last spoken to you, and I do apologize. I was making it a habit of making an episode after every game, which started to not take a toll. It's not, but it started to not mean as much every time I did one, because I would only have a few things to say, because we were talking about one. I would only be talking about one game, and the last few games were all losses. A 1-0 loss, the 6-3 loss. Not very fun ones to even talk about. But Simone Nemec has been excellent. I used to not like him. I used to advocate for getting rid of him, which I still don't think is off the table. A defenseman is gonna have to be traded at some point, and it's probably gonna be Seamus Casey. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened with him. Why is he totally gone now? What happened to Seamus Casey? And I actually want to write that down, because I have to remind myself to talk about that again. This is the same marker that the Devils used to sign my jersey. Okay, anyway. So tonight we had Detroit in town, and the Devils were looking at going 4 games in a row without a win. This would have been, if they lost, it would have been the 4th loss in a row. Not something to be proud of. But first period, last game was a disaster. The game before that, 1-0. Jake Allen was the king. It was a 1-0 game. The Devils just could not score. They should have won that game. But back to tonight. Timo Meier scores again. So the Meier, Hischier, and Bratt line has been a major producer. Bratt, all assists mostly, except for one recent goal. Hischier's just slotting goals in every game. He had a goal tonight. Timo Meier's been he has 7 now. And he has a few in his past 5 games. It would be nice to see Gritsu get a goal or two. Cody Glass came back. Cody Glass scored. Oh yeah, didn't Cody Glass score? Timo Meier scored for Nason and Hischier. It's nice to see Nason get a point on the board. Then DeBrincat was 1-1. Then Hischier scored from Bratt and Meier. So Meier then at that point has 2 points. Then Cody Glass scores from Luke Hughes and Connor Brown. And I put a bet on Connor Brown to score a goal tonight. But then James Van Riemsdyk scored a power play goal. But then after that, guess who scored? Connor Brown, baby, his 6th, and his first after his coming back from injury. He had 5 before his injury, which was excellent. He was hot out the gate, best he's ever had in his career. Mercer with the assist for that, and then of course Dylan Larkin had that last goal. Lots of fights tonight. Now, let me know what you think about this. Do we have a new rivalry with the Red Wings? Because it dates back to 1995, the 1995 sweep Stanley Cup Finals, where the Red Wings were the high-flying favorites, and the Devils were the literal underdogs. They were the shit under your boot dogs, you know, and they had basically no chance of winning according to all media. They swept it. So it goes back to 1995, and it's almost like it's come full circle to where Detroit became part of the Eastern Conference, and now the Devils can have a rivalry with them, even though they're not in the same division. The divisions aren't. There's only 4 divisions, so it's not that hard for this to be a rivalry. Now, they were fighting last season. There was problems. You remember there was that one infamous photo. Was that from last season? No, that photo of what was it, Rasmussen, or who was it? Standing over, I think it might be Jack Hughes. I forgot how that goes. But I think the Devils Red Wings is they're both, they both have basically the same record, except Detroit played one more game and had one more loss, but they have the same amount of points going into tonight. So they're basically they're both on the same trajectory. So it's a good team to have a rivalry with. A Detroit Devils Winter Classic would be amazing. 1995 revisited. I wish they could have done that this year, and because it's their 30-year anniversary of that. So. In other news, the defensemen were. I wouldn't say they were great tonight. You know who was really hard to see? Brendan Dillon. Didn't really notice him much. If anyone, I feel like he didn't even play. To be fair with you. But I want to see something. Who got the assists? Luke Hughes is the only defenseman with an assist. But Nemec and Luke Hughes were both +2s. And the rest of the defense were all even on plus-minus tonight, which is very odd. Hamilton with 4 penalty minutes, by the way, was outrageously funny. Nason assist, Glass goal, Heischer goal assist, Connor Brown goal assist, Timo Meyer goal assist, Bratt assist, Mercer assist. So the main players are getting the points, and that's what we expect from that, right? Now the question is, how are the Devils? How are the Devils gonna keep going with this goaltending thing? It's not gonna work out for too long with these two guys. They're up and down. They're not consistent. Jake Allen's more consistent, and I trust him more. I'd rather have him. And I like, for instance, I think the Devils would have been a 4-2 game tonight, or maybe 5-2 because Devils might have gotten empty netter, but yeah, I'm still a little pissed off about the 3-game losing streak. It put the Devils back down. The Devils were flying high. They were top of the league, and then just a 3-game losing streak. And the Eastern Conference is crazy. That Toronto, I believe, is at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and they're 4 points out of a playoff spot. So it's so even in the Eastern Conference. It's scary because you could be a good team and not make the playoffs this season. That's how it's looking as of now. I don't really look at the Western Conference regarding their standings. I know who the better teams, who's leading divisions, whatever, but I'm not looking at their points and stuff like that, so I don't know them off the top of my head. I know I could tell you which teams are on the bottom, which teams are on top, whatever. But it's definitely not the same in the West. Let me take a look. Actually, we'll check it out. Let's do something today, because we never do anything. So we'll go by by conference. All right, so Western Conference points: Colorado 37 at the top, and Nashville 16 points at the bottom. Toronto's at the bottom with 21 points in the East, and Carolina is at the top with 30 points, and the Devils with 29 in second. So if we go to the league-wise, New Jersey goes to 5th. And guess who was in front of the Devils? It's so crazy to see it. And you know what? You love to see it, though. You love these... All 5 teams in all 4... The Devils are 5th. All 4 teams in front of the Devils are, in some way, like rival teams, okay? You got Colorado. You got 2001 Stanley Cup Finals, Colorado. You got Carolina, no explanation needed. Dallas, 2000 Stanley Cup Finals. Anaheim, 2003 Stanley Cup Finals. So that's a major rivalry team again in your division. And then the 3 teams 3 out of the 5 teams the Devils played against in the Stanley Cup Finals. I thought that was pretty cool. And the Islanders, by the way, 1 point behind. I mean, let's not forget that. Wait, Colorado has 37. How does Colorado have... yeah, Colorado only has 1 regulation loss. That's why. That's crazy. That's crazy. But, by the way, the Devils are 9-0-1 at home, and their only loss at home was against the Islanders, and I fucking decided that I'm going to drive to that game, go to it. It was a good, actually it was a good game, and I had fun. But it sucks that they lost that game, and I knew it. It's almost like I knew they were going to lose because I was there. I told that to my friend. I even told Rachel Herzog that. I said, I feel like I might be bad luck because the last time I was there was the first home game. They won, and then they won 8 in a row since then. Then they lost against the Islanders, went on the road trip, come back, and then win tonight. I wasn't there, of course, so don't worry about it. All right? So, anyway, Connor Brown, I made a bet for Connor Brown to score tonight. I knew he would get back on the board. We need Nason to score. We need Cotter to get a goal. Connor Brown is going to score. He's good. Actually, Connor Brown is one of my favorites. I'm thinking about getting a Connor Brown jersey. Let me know what jersey you would want to get if you had the choice right now to pick any player and any jersey. You had the option. Why did they get rid of they played with the jersey for the first time tonight on the Bye Jersey tour, which is really stupid. But what happened to the Heritage jersey? That was beautiful. The white, white, red, and green Heritage jersey. I have a couple of those. I love that jersey. I have a blank one, and I have a Brat one. The blank one is a very big size 60, Adidas. Anyway, this has been the Devils You Know. I'll be back to let you know about the Devils that you know. Check out my notes. Check out the videos I'm posting. Not everything on Substack is this little podcast or whatever you want to call it. I put an article out about the downfall of the Devils, even though they did win tonight. I still think they're in kind of a free fall. And so check that out on Substack, The Devils You Know. And I'll see you next time on The Devils You Know.